International composer, violinist who has performed for over 20 years in venues that include places all over the world. A regular here on the Wednesday morning show, Rupert Gunter. Good morning, welcome.
Morning, Sue. Thanks for having me down to the studio.
Great to have you back on board again. There's always things happening, and I've seen your Facebook post, and you've been very busy doing a lot of shows. Tell us more.
Well, the big thing is preparing for this tour, but we've had a run of shows at the WA Museum Boulevard with those beautiful big halls there with all the history and archaeology there, and
adds to the kind of feel of it, doesn't it, when you're playing music in that kind of surrounds, doesn't it?
You're right, actually, in the environment with all these, like we were talking about pre-show today here, you know, we're talking about artifacts of history, you know, that people have touched or have walked the earth millions of years ago. So it's very much a living experience with that, and then of course this national tour with the new album.
Yes, exactly. Very, very exciting. So there's lots of things coming up, and then besides that, of course, you're also running a bit of a farm with lots of different farm animals and stuff like that. How are they all going, by the way?
Oh, look, they send their greetings.
Oh, good. I'm glad they thought about us.
Yeah, no, they're good, and the little baby donkey's grown up. He's 6 months old now.
Oh, really?
So, it's just nice seeing all this. I guess it's just being part of those cycles of nature. You know, we have all the seasons, and
of course,
it gets as hot as hell up there, and then it's really nice and green and cool now.
And I bet
animals go through their own adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all good, and of course, you're very spiritual person too, and a very deep thinker, and this kind of relates back to the music that you play and where you like to play. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I guess the spiritual thing I kind of translate. I like to translate that a little bit more broadly these days. You know, it's more about, I think it's as much about being open. I would call that my spirituality, really. It's just about being open and observant, and I think sensitive to our environment. You know, whether it's people like being here with you this morning, or being in the city, or being up in the country, wherever we are, there's a lot to learn and a lot to experience and feel.
Exactly, that's right. Now, the last time we actually caught up with you, not in the studio here, we went to one of your concert shows, which is in your place there that you have in Wangara. Beautifully done up inside. Have you done a few more shows there?
Yeah, we had a season there over just before New Year and into the New Year. Okay,
because you want to be there in the warmer months, I guess. Is that the idea? Or
no, it's
all
it's year round there at the new academy. In that auditorium, but we've been focused on this national tour now, which is in a lot of beautiful halls around Australia coming up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, let's talk about the 2023 national tour now, and it is Letters to Esterhazy? Esterhazy. Okay, all right. So tell us about this, Sonata 1. Tell us about the kind of music played and what this means, the title.
Well, as you know, really my foundations are as a classical violinist. Yes. I know I've been in here and brought blues bands in and all sorts of things we've done in world music. But this is really returning to my roots in many ways. And I'm just playing acoustic violin, so there's no electronics involved. It's just me and the violin in a beautiful hall, and all the sounds are very classical, although they are my own. And so Esterhazy was this, it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire back in the 17th, 18th century.
Wow.
And so it was a time of, you know, all those frock coats and wigs and all that you see in the old paintings. These extravagant buildings for the royalty. Anyway, there was a very cultured prince who fostered a lot of classical music, and one of the people who he had doing the court music for him at the time was a fellow called Joseph Haydn, who was a very famous Austrian musician, teacher of Beethoven and Mozart. So if anyone doesn't know who Haydn is, they know who Beethoven and Mozart are. He was their sort of teacher and father figure, and musically speaking. And so this music is, because I went and studied in Vienna, I lived there, and I went to those places where where Haydn and Mozart.
You must have been in your element.
Well, there's lots of things I love. You know, there's like going to New Orleans or something is also part of my element. But yeah, absolutely, with that rich classical heritage, to walk the same cobblestones and sit in the same room at the same dining table that's still there from when Haydn was there or Mozart was there.
Yeah,
it's
wow,
really
that's pretty.
There's something that happens when you go to these places like that.
I
And
bet.
so anyway, so the story of this is that there's it's imaginary letters back to Joseph Haydn back in that time. So it's like letters through. It's in 5 parts. This sonata, and each one is like an imaginary letter back to him, saying, "Hey, look, thank you. You know, it's what you brought into the world, and here it is, and I'm still doing it here, 11,000 miles away, 200 years later in Australia."
What a great idea! So this is your own concept. This hasn't been done somewhere before by somebody.
This is my own music and my own imagination at
of
play.
Of what could have transpired during that time, basically.
Yeah. And you know, he wasn't just a musician. He brought this sort of music that I think brought a lot of hope for humanity. It was a very restless time, as one of my journalist friends has pointed out. Politically, you know, there was a lot of revolutions going on and a lot of change, which was people seeking freedom. And his music was really a bit like the ancient Greeks. It was full of these sort of virtues for humanity. He wasn't preaching about it, but it's in the music, and that's always appealed to me. So my music is sort of dipping its hat to that, in a sense, that, you know, what can we do for the world? Well, we can bring music that touches people's hearts and fills them with hope for, you know, for the future.
So how long did it take you to write all that? Because, as you said, you got that idea from when you were over there, kind of thing. And so how long did that take you to put these songs together for this up-and-coming tour?
Well, I'll tell you a story that flips the whole idea of this on its head.
Yeah.
The ABC in Melbourne invited me to come into the studio and record for a few days. And since the last 20 years, all my classical music has been completely improvised. So it's just like having a conversation here today.
Oh, okay, you just pick it up and play.
We come in here, we knew we were meeting, but we didn't have a script. We're not, you know, we're not reading from script here. We're just bouncing ideas.
I don't have any notes today because I know you so well. I don't even need notes anymore.
We're bouncing ideas, and so I went in and just bounced musical ideas for a few days, and I went home and I was listening back to these tracks, and I was like, wow, there's something really special here, especially these solo violin ones. I did a lot of other things as well, but for the solo violin, and I was listening to these tracks over and over again. Well, what is it? And it just comes. It's how the muse works. The music came before the story.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what, this is really connected with what he was doing back then, what Haydn was doing. The music doesn't sound anything like his music. It's classical, but it's modern. Yeah. But there's the spirit of it, what I'm trying to do, and what I can feel from him is sort of what's inspiring me. Anyway, so it's long story short, the music arrived before. It's like having a baby, you know. You don't always have to have the name before you have the baby. A lot of people do, but this is where the baby arrived before the name.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And you're going to be playing this not only here in Government House in Perth, but you're going to Canberra, Adelaide and Queensland as well.
Yeah, Melbourne, Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney. Oh, Sydney Opera House.
Yeah.
How cool is that? You've been there before, though. Sydney Opera House?
I haven't done solo there before. This is the first national tour we've organised with the big recital halls, which is really exciting. I've played in lots of these venues, you know, with orchestras and shows. And
this is entirely just you on your own.
This is just me and my violin, naked.
How does that make you feel?
I'm really excited about it. And, you know, music's especially your own music, it's a very personal thing to share.
Of course.
And so...
came from your head.
Yeah, well, from my heart and soul as much. Right. So it's like it's just a special thing. It's like painting an exhibition of paintings and saying, hey, look, the exhibition's on and we'll go down and check it out together. Yeah. So it's very personal for me, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm very proud of the work, and I love playing, so...
Oh, of course you do. That's why you're still doing it. We're speaking with Rupert Gunter. We just must hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, he's going to play for us.
Station sponsor, the City of Joondalup, has 4 libraries.
And he's picked up his wonderful violin now, and you're very, very precious with that, as you should be, Gunter.
Yeah, Rupert. Look, it's my Italian concert violin I've had for decades, and it's played all over the world.
So tell us about when did you purchase that, and how long ago?
I got this just before I moved to Vienna in the 90s.
Wow.
And so it's been through all those opera houses and places, and
so it's been on lots of plane flights?
It's travelled everywhere I have and played all those concerts with lots of people. We've talked about it other times. And so, you know, it all kind of rubs off. And so when you pick it up, you feel all those things.
Yeah, of course you would. And is there any particular thing that you need to do, like regularly, to keep it? I mean, obviously you've got to tune it like a guitar, but is there any other special things that you do with it?
No, it's unless something breaks, which has
Very
never
rarely.
happened.
Yep.
Then it's all good. We just put new strings on when it needs.
All right. Well, you're going to give us a bit of a taste now of some of the things that we may hear for this.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
show.
The concert's got obviously this strong component with the classical roots, with the new letters to Esterhazy, and I'll just play you a little bit of that. And there's a couple of other interesting things on the program that I'll just give you a few sound bites from.
Yep.
To give you an idea. So this is the part of the new letters to Esterhazy.
Take us away. Beautiful.
So that's obviously got a lot of roots in European classical music.
Yep.
And that's part of the big sonata. But I'm also going to be playing on the program a couple of short pieces at the end, which have their roots in very different places, and they'll give you a little quick taste. This one leans more towards the 14th century mystical music of the Arabic world.
Yep. Okay.
And it's called So Many Stars. It's like when you look up at night and there's just stars everywhere.
That was beautiful. You've done that similar before when you've been here, and after the show, Nina and I spoke, and we said from all of it, we love that. We kind of, I don't know, it just seems to take you, somewhere far
away.
Evocative.
Yeah, very. It's just a certain kind of scales that are quite common in the Middle Eastern cultures. And then there's the other piece is one that leans towards the traditional Japanese shakuhachi flute.
Okay.
And it's a little bit more kind of meditative and zen.
All right.
So here's your zen
Do
moments.
I need my massage chair out now?
You'll need your mat.
The mat, okay.
All right.
Just beautiful. We had Anne Bray in before, president of Mezzo, and we're talking about accomplished, very famous violinists. And of course, your name came up, Rupert. And why wouldn't it? Just amazing. It's just wonderful. You know, obviously, when I even watch you, you can see the passion and the love for what you do, and still so strong as ever.
Look, it's actually quite a privilege to share all these things.
It's a real
with
journey,
people.
isn't it?
It is. It's a journey, and I guess I love sharing it because it's a way of passing it on. I was very fortunate, and I had fantastic opportunities and experiences in my life, and I am passionate about it, and it's very beautiful. And I just go, great, where can we share it?
Yeah.
And there's something, I think there's something very fulfilling about that, as much as actually making the music is, you know, sharing it with other people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, look, we're thankful that you do that. And once again, you're playing at Government House, and it's on the 30th of June, I believe. Is that an evening concert? Tell us more.
Yeah, it's the beautiful Government House ballroom down in Perth. And
how's the acoustics there?
It's magical. You just couldn't think of anything better for the acoustic instrument.
Oh, wow.
And it's in that beautiful Victorian style, and it's a gorgeous room.
And are you having a support act at all, or no, just you
Not
yourself?
at this stage,
okay.
no. It's something interesting, though. You should bring that up, because I'm thinking with future tours, it'd be nice to have a young person who's interested in working in a similar way, making their own music, perhaps as a sort of 5-minute opener or something, just to give them a bit of a head start.
Yeah, absolutely. Like all right, Rupert Gunter, once again, it is the 30th of June, Government House, Perth. It is the national tour. Letters to Esther Hazy. Esther Hazy. Right, okay. All right. And thank you once again for the inspiration, for telling us the inspiration story behind that as well. Take care and good luck with all your travels around the rest of the country as well. How exciting.
Yeah, thanks.
And is the lovely Tanya going with you?
Not on this trip, no. She's got a lot of things to man at home.
Yep.
But, it's I'm excited about the tour. So thank you for having me in.
No worries. It's always our pleasure. Thank you, Rupert. Take care.